The moment the boomers start dying off, and I mean that with no disrespect, but when they start aging out and passing on, and the properties and the equities and everything they hold transfer to the younger generation, that wealth is erased overnight because no one can buy it. And if there's no demand and no ability to buy it, the price is going to collapse.
Right. It reminds me of these practically ghost towns in Japan that are outside of the city, because this is mostly because of their low birth rates. These older people die and they own homes outside of cities, and they either don't have children to inherit them, or the children they had, the one or two children they had, are not interested in owning those homes. And now they're just ghost towns, and a lot of Westerners are interested in buying those homes because they're incredibly cheap.
Yeah, I've seen some of that.
I think the solution is providing them jobs like this. I actually think a lot of Gen Zers will take jobs like this, especially the further out from the city you get. I also think there's a problem with not teaching Gen Zers fiscal responsibility, or now even younger kids. I have a lot of friends. I'm Gen Z, so I have a lot of friends who just have like either no job or like screw around jobs where they're not like actually real jobs. But if you provide them jobs like this, I mean, I'm from like the sticks in upstate New York on the Canadian border, and everybody wants to work up there. When I was in high school, everybody wanted to work on a farm when they're 14, like they're itching to work. And that's not the same for the cities, and the closer you get to the cities, it's not so much like this. But there are definitely Gen Zers, like I think a high number of them that would take factory jobs like this if you put the factories in the right spot.
There's another scenario.
What's that?
When the millennials inherit the homes and then put them on the market, BlackRock buys them up.
Right.
And then you will own nothing, and you will live in the pods, and you will eat the bugs.
You're talking about the factories being in the right places. The problem is Gen Z wants to live in either suburban or urban areas so that they can have opportunities for consumption that are actually accessible to them, because obviously they don't have the capital to buy homes and make investments. The only consumption that's accessible to them is basically DoorDash and streaming services. So they want to live in or near cities. So are the factories going to be in or near cities?
I don't think so. I think you put them in places where the culture is working. So like I come from a mining town. Everyone, not everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people, when they get to like a legal working age, like 18 to, they're out of high school, 18 to 25, whatever, they go and work in the mines, and they're happy to do that, and they love it because they're making good money, whatever. So you have to put them in places where the culture is to work. And I think when you put the factories in those places, the town around it will develop on its own. And it's not like a mine where I'm from. The mine dries up, the town goes to crap. But
I think the issue largely is that younger generations, starting with probably to a smaller degree Gen X, to a greater degree millennials, to a great degree millennials, and then to an even greater degree Gen Z, the older generation continually treats the younger generation like incompetent children, incapable of doing anything. Mm-hmm. So whereas a 22-year-old man should be either running his own shop or the manager of a business or doing like a mid-level position with starting out his family, buying his first home, having kids, today in the news, in the media, in our culture, they will say a 22-year-old is a child. Like a 22-year-old fully grown adult human being, and they treat him like a child. Mm-hmm. And so we don't have how many Gen Z politicians are there?
I don't think a handful.
So people run for stuff.
Who's that chick with the keffia?
Yeah, but she's not in. But she's not in. So
is Jasmine Crockett?
Plenty who want to try.
I don't think she's Gen Z.
I'm not sure how old Jasmine Crockett is.
How many millennial are there?
Millennials.
A greater number now, but I would say massively delayed. And part of it is they say that when the
oh no. Jasmine Crockett's a millennial.
170% increase in Gen Z lawmakers taking office as of 2023.
But what does that mean?
State reps.
Is that in
I don't know.
state reps, or is that in Congress?
And how many of them are communists?
Yeah.
Probably most.
A lot of them, I'd imagine. So look, my view is when you see these stories of 30-year-old virgins, we had a movie that came out, what was it, 10, 15 years ago called The 40-Year-Old Virgin. And it was like, ha, 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 how funny of this guy who like never had it happen for him. Now we have increasing reports that young men have isolated themselves and there's like early 30s virgin men. You know, and again, I always mention this because Seamus Coughlin said based at that story because he's thinking it from a religious perspective. And I'm like, bro, no.
Only
They should
Maxwell
have been
Frost.
married at 22. Only one?
Only Maxwell Frost, who's from Democrat from Florida's 10th congressional district. He was first elected in 2022 at the age of 25. He remains the only Gen Z member in the 119th Congress.
To be fair, I mean, I think the oldest Gen Z is what, 27?
I think so. I'm not
So
sure.
There's a good amount in like state politics, I think. Like
Yeah.
Braxton
I'm looking
Mitchell
at
is a friend
the
of mine.
state reps.
Yeah.
But I largely what I mean is industry is like the boomer generation is not letting go. And it's because they're living longer. People used to die and retire much earlier. Now the retirement age is getting pushed. People are living longer. I'm not saying this to disrespect you boomers, but boomers are not letting go of their wealth and property and assets. So millennials have accrued very little. Gen Z has accrued much less. And still, Gen Z and millennials look up to boomers who are past retirement age by now. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.